Alright guys, so this is a fanfiction idea that I've done before, but I figured it's that time of the year, right? It's Friday the 13th, it's October. Let's do this. Let's have this be brought back. And that, as you can see, Jason versus Frankenstein. So Jason versus Frankenstein is a story I did a couple of years ago, and it was actually inspired by a Halloween challenge, Halloween crossover challenge that me and friends like Matt and Cody and a few others had done, and it kind of became its own big idea. So I thought I'd bring it back for this time around. So let's get started. So the story begins in Crystal Lake, and Jason is just kind of chilling, just kind of like, sitting, staying in his house. But then he hears like something ain't right. So he immediately grabs his machete and heads out into the world. Like, he heads out into Crystal Lake to find out what has happened. What's happened is that it's not Jason hunting, it's someone hunting him. A squad of highly trained mercenaries have entered Crystal Lake for one reason: bringing in Jason. And he's already undead, so their employer says, kill him if you have to, he's gonna come back. Like, there's no killing Jason, just subduing him. So, and it's a big squad too, because it isn't like 8 or 9 guys. No, it's like 20. It's like it's a big, whoever did this had a big checking account to hire a small platoon of like 20 of highly trained soldiers. Reason being, they needed the numbers, because Jason immediately turns the tables on them and just begins to slaughter them. Just begins slaughtering them left and right in a full-on bloody fight. Just like, they're shooting at him, they're hitting him with heavy artillery, and Jason is just going through them left and right in a just absolute killing spree. By the end of it, he's wiped out half of the mercenaries and only like 10 are left. But they do manage to bring Jason down, and it also means they get how many soldiers died. They get more. That's more money for them. So the remaining mercenaries call their employer and they're like, "Doctor, we got him." And they're like, "Bring it." The sedatives will, if my theory's right, the sedatives you administered to him after shooting him so many times will hold him down. So bring him to Switzerland immediately. So Jason is taken from Crystal Lake to the Swiss Alps, deep into the Swiss Alps, where he is brought to an old castle that has been rebuilt. And that castle is Castle Frankenstein. And yeah, this, also I should mention, this is more of the, like, Jason meeting the universal monster Frankenstein. So this is a great-great-grandson, an ancestor of the original Dr. Frankenstein. And Frankenstein explains that, like, I have tried for years. And the Frankenstein curse is that no matter how hard we try, we always go back to our grandfather's, to Victor's original creation. We always trying to find a way to bring him, to replicate that kind of genius. But it seems Victor Frankenstein took it to his grave. So no matter how hard the pull is, one way or another, we either become Frankensteins become doctors or men of science. We also make our own monsters in our own way. But I decide this Frankenstein was decided differently. What this one decided was to find the original monster and bring it back to life, but through different means, a mixture of science and the occult. Now, he believes that mixing the two will bring new life into the monster and allow him to control it, and it'll also allow him to study the monster and pick up where his ancestor left off, leading to him making another monster, or a new race of monsters that will basically, like, make him, like, more money. Like, the nations of the world will want either dead soldiers or servants or something of that nature. I could even give them the key to eternal life. Like, I could just put their brains in undead monster in the undead that I stitched together. People want a new body? Here, I'll just put one together from old body parts and bring it to life through the science and the occult. But the thing is, he could never break it, even with a mixture of science and the occult. That is, until he's heard the stories about Jason Voorhees. And Jason is a being that is both living and dead. So he believes if he can study Jason and learn the secrets of life from Jason, then he can mix the two together. So Jason is brought to Castle Frankenstein, and Jason is held down, and blood is being taken from him. He doesn't he's scared. He doesn't hear his mother's voice anymore, and all he wants to do is go back home. He's like wrestling with the restraints, and this Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein's just kind of telling him straight up, like, I am just telling you everything because you're just a dumb monster, and in fact, I needed you to complete this project. And he unveils the original Frankenstein monster. The original monster has been in a state of a catatonic state since its battle with the Wolfman. So this is kind of following Frankenstein meets the Wolfman a little bit, but yeah. After the dam blew up, it got sunken underwater, and no one could find it. It got until Victor's ancestor managed to recover it. But no matter how hard he tried, with what little notes he knew from Victor's research he could muster, he couldn't bring it to life. So now he believes mixing that with the blood of Jason Voorhees can, restore the monster to life. And lo and behold, with a little bit of electricity and Jason's blood in its veins, the monster rises again. And he's like, it's alive! It's alive! Of course, you gotta throw out that classic role. So the monster has been the monster is woken up from its slumber, and Jason, by that point, breaks out of his restraint, tears open the cage, and the monster is at first when he sees Jason, there's that moment where Jason's like, and the monster just looks at him and goes, friend, and Jason just he grabs his machete and just tries to swing at it, and hits the monster in the arm, and he's like, "Arr! Not friend." So Jason and the monster do battle in Castle Frankenstein. The two go at it in a bloody fight. Jason and the monster in here is actually I wanted to have it that the monster's as physically strong as Jason and is just as durable. Jason stabs him, but now that he's got science and magic and even Jason's blood coursing through him, it's it doesn't hurt as much, where it would probably kill him beforehand. He yanks it out, and throws his machete on the ground. And there's even that moment where the monster uses the old hammer fist and just hits Jason across the face, and Jason looks back with his face all messed up, and the monster's like, "You like me? Why fight?" And Jason doesn't respond. He just grabs his mask and attacks him again. He's like, "You not friend, you evil." So while this is going on, while they're fighting through the castle, Frankenstein calls the remaining mercenaries, and they try to break up the fight. The two actually split up and actually kill their way through the remaining mercenaries, since there was 10, there's 5 for each of them. Eventually, the fight breaks. The fight breaks out, and they fall. Both monsters fall out of Castle Frankenstein, since it's on a ledge, and they fall deep into a crevice where they're both fighting each other. Eventually, Dr. Frankenstein heads out trying to recover either or both of them, but never finds either of them. They've both vanished. So by that point, Dr. Frankenstein's like, I got what I should. I was so close to getting what I wanted. I succeeded, though. I know that that my research works, but I need to start from scratch again. It's about that point when he's like, yeah, I just gotta pack up and I'll start from scratch. I think I have enough of Jason's blood to get this to work. It's at that point when the monster has shown back up in his castle and grabs him. And he's like, "You no make any more," and just crushes the Frankenstein. He's like, "I'm a Frankenstein. We're family." He's like, and the monster's just like, "Not family." Crushes his throat. And the monster heads out into the Swiss wilderness, just to live in solitude. But where did Jason go? Turns out Jason just went home. In fact, he literally walked under the ocean surface all the way back to Crystal Lake. After and it took him months to do it. It took him a month to do it. And of course, when he's there's campers off doing drugs and having sex in his lake. Just like it's like coming home and finding out your house got infested with rats, and you know what to do with rats. So that's how we end the story. So there you go, guys. That is Jason versus Frankenstein. Just kind of a pretty straightforward story on a whole, but yeah. Hope you all enjoyed this. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.